So how many times have I told y'all how mainstream networks work and how these media enablers around them work? So last week, I had Mark Fisher on the show, who used to be involved with the Black Lives Matter chapter in Rhode Island that's not affiliated with the actual Black Lives Matter network. And at the end of the day, he couldn't answer a damn thing. But he goes on Fox News, they have him on Fox News, Lawrence B. Jones interviews him. It's an absolute joke. But then New York Post picks it up, Mediaite, which covers the media site, picks it up. And so all of a sudden, then other folks start writing the story. Now, understand, Mediaite didn't do a write-up on our segment. They had a 3.5-minute segment on Fox. We had about 30 minutes, about 36 minutes on this show. They didn't write that up. They love writing up these other segments. They love talking about what's on Fox News and CNN and whatever Megyn Kelly has to say, but they rarely actually do black-owned media. But I want y'all to see the difference when we talk about when and how mainstream media does these stories when you definitely don't see any sort of fact-checking. So just watch this for a second. Yeah, go ahead and pull it up.
Now the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, Mark Fisher. Mark, thanks so much for joining the program. This is my favorite story of the day because it identifies with what I've seen in the barbershop. All the brothers, for some reason right now, are turning tides right now. And I just wonder, what is the big reason? Now to the key swing.
Go ahead and go to it. Let's see.
Joining us now, the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, Mark Fisher. Mark, thanks so much for joining the program. This is my favorite story of the day because it identifies with what I've seen in the barbershop. All the brothers, for some reason right now, are turning tides right now. And I just wonder, what is the big reason?
I think personally, it's the duplicity of the Democrats, the hypocrisy. We're not stupid. The brothers are not stupid. We understand when someone's for us and when someone is not. And it's obvious that the Democratic Party is not for us.
Yeah, I can't.
Their policies actually strike at the heart of the black family and the nuclear family.
Yeah, so, you were a part of Black Lives Matter. You founded it there. And now you're saying, you're not saying the entire Republican Party, you're saying Donald Trump. So what is it about Donald Trump? Is it the economics? You noted the black family. What is it going to take for him to shore up this support amongst black voters?
Well, I just think that it's going to take information. A lot of people are misinformed. They don't really understand because they don't educate themselves on Donald Trump as a person and his history. But if they do that, and it's going to take, leaders, educated leaders, getting the word out there, I think that it'll happen on its own. And it'll be organic because, personally, I love the man. I mean, how could you not like if a real man? How could you not relate to someone like that? On its own, and it'll be organic because, personally, I love the man. I mean, how could you not like if a real man? How could you not relate to someone like that?
Yeah, he watches every morning, so I'm sure he's cheering as you're saying this. We looked at some of the polls for Trump over Biden in the battleground states. In 2020, it was 8%. Now in 2023, he has 22%. And that's just not black men. So the election is right around the corner. If you had the opportunity to talk to the former president, I'm sure he's watching right now, what would you tell him?
Call me on my cell phone, man. I'll stop for Trump.
Mark, I'm fascinated by you. Why did you end up leaving Black Lives Matter? Or are you still affiliated with it?
No, I'm still affiliated with it all day. Because the thing about it is my message that I preach and that I tout is unity. It's a message of unity. It's unity driven. I want to bring together all the marginalized groups.
A panel here. The reality, Reese, we know the game that folks play. And as I said, you didn't hear a single policy brought up in that whole conversation. All you heard was a bunch of mumbo jumbo and Lawrence B. Jones fanning out because a black dude from Rhode Island who is affiliated with the Black Lives Matter chapter there, all of a sudden said he loved him some Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, he's auditioning for maybe HUD secretary under Trump 2024 because obviously Trump doesn't feel like you need to be qualified to be in that position as long as you're black. I mean, it's really ridiculous and absurd to try to paint a person who is facing 91 counts on multiple state and federal local charges as a person of character is absurd. We've seen how Donald Trump has acted reprehensibly for decades now. Like, this is just straight up bullshit. And he's just being a buffoon and a blackface, black foot soldier of white supremacy, hoping to get a check out of it. But it don't seem to be upgraded too much. His background ain't looking any better. He ain't got a better camera, better wardrobe, nothing, Chad. Like, if you grifting, you still in stage A of grifting. You need to be getting a little bit more money up front before you sell this much of your soul, homeboy, because we ain't buying it, and Republicans ain't buying it with enough money.
The thing here, Lauren, is you look at some of these other people. That fool, Officer Tatum, he been running from me for years. Candace Owens been running for years as well. Again, the people who don't know, it's easy to be duped by these dupes. But when you sit here and walk them down and you walk them through the facts, they can't answer any of the questions. So what they do is they try to be loud. They try to throw out bumper sticker phrases, and they try to go with the plantation language and thinking that's what's going to sit here and push somebody back. And I'm like, no, we're not going to fall for it. And I've had other people, Lauren, say, man, I don't know why you had them on. I said, because you have to expose stupidity so people then understand what the real game is.
Yeah, I really think that when we look at these people, obviously we're going to have several episodes of this. We already had the Sexy Red episode. Now we're having the Mark Fisher episode. I'm sure we'll have some rap star that the Republicans, we had the Kanye West last cycle. Oh, Kanye West is running for president. I mean, and this all comes from the fact, unfortunately, that the powers that be in right-wing media think black people are stupid. That's what this really is. They think black people are stupid. They think if you throw a rapper in front of us and the rapper tells us to do something, we're going to do it. And there's absolutely no evidence of any of that. There's no evidence whatsoever. The two biggest, most loyal voting blocs of the Democratic Party currently are black women followed by black men. It's been that way cycle after cycle, and it will be that way again next year. The question will be what the level of intensity of that turnout will be.
Well, are y'all really telling us who we're supposed to vote for? Am I crazy, gentlemen? Or are they telling us who we're supposed to vote for? And I'm just not just, this clip is just the conduit, but both sides especially are talking to black people, and they're telling us who to vote for. They're not telling us to make informed votes. Both sides are telling us who to vote for. And I don't know about y'all, but the us's and we's over here, we're not standing for that. And we're not going to keep our mouth closed on that because we believe in people making informed votes. Do your damn research and make a damn decision on your own. But this is what we're getting into today. So, Patrick, I want to start with you, man. What are your overall thoughts on this clip we just watched?
Well, the beginning was silly because Roland Martin is trying to play the black anti-media card to drum up attention for his channel. Yeah, we're not going, bro. So the beginning was silly. The middle was silly because he's right. Like, Buddy didn't really answer any questions about his thoughts on policy. But again, we this far out. We're a year out from the actual elections, roughly. Around this stage, everybody's policy is usually a kind of a bit fuzzy. They just kind of experimenting with shit. They weren't throwing a bunch of shit at the wall saying West End. But Trump has put out some policy positions where if you wanted to have a legitimate conversation about policy regarding Trump and Biden, you could have those discussions. You just have to understand that those discussions at this point are probably meaningless because the policies, positions that they're at in 6 to 8 months could potentially be a whole lot different from where they're at right now. So, we go there. I think this is another failure of Democrats to understand that narratives and stories supersede facts. When that man said, this is what we're hearing in the barbershops, which was a lie. Yeah, most of the dudes in the barbershop, they ain't talking about no goddamn election, especially not a year out from the fucking election. That's not happening. It's not happening. Most of the dudes in the barbershop ain't really like, do you realize the NBA in-season tournament is going on right now? Do you realize there's football going on right now? Do you realize between football and basketball, there's no room in the barbershop for a presidential election next year? It's not happening. I'm not buying it.
The only thing is room for is somebody bringing up Trump and people being triggered at the sound of the word Trump.
Right. I mean, it's more likely that a conversation about the thickness and the poke out factor of coming up than a conversation about Trump and Biden in 2024. I'm just like, let's keep it a buck there. But I think it's still a failure of Democrats to understand that stories and narratives supersede facts. The dude saying barbershops and the other dude saying that's a man's man, I love the guy. That means more to the average person than any of the facts you can spit out because it's relatable. They understand it. They understand his position and they don't have to think about it. And to her making the point, they trot these rappers out as if we listen to them. We do.
I'm gonna get on her ass.
Like, lady, what are you talking to? We do listen. That's why they keep doing it. White people are not stupid. When stuff stopped working,
who are doing it? But who are doing it? Who is the party that are consistently directing rappers towards the black community? Who is the party? Because I know it ain't the Republicans.
Well, and this is where we get into the dude spoke to the duplicity of Democrats, which I agree. The Democratic Party is very duplicitous. The answer is not the Republican part. Like, so y'all been smiling in our face and slapping us on the back of the head. So we don't fuck with y'all no more. We just gonna fuck with these other people over here who will openly shoot us in the face with a gun. Like, there's a third option. You could not fuck with either. I'm just saying, if I got to choose between somebody beating me up and somebody shooting me, I would rather choose neither and kind of do my own thing. I'm on that note, because there's a lot to be said about this clip from both sides of it. Because to be clear, Roland Martin and his panel, they didn't do anything but slang insults and all this other. Like, they didn't really speak to no policy positions either.
That's part of my notes.
So we got a lot to talk about if we want to get into it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's fucking Roland Martin, man. If he could be on Fox News right now, he would be, in my opinion.
Back on CNN, yeah, we know it. We know it. PC, man, what are your thoughts, my brother?
Well, that's what he's actually petitioning for right now. He's auditioning for a role back on these major media networks, but the shaming don't work. So the shaming only works when you're talking about black men in our community. The shaming doesn't work when you try to shame these people, saying you need to have black media. They're like, all right, then nigga, go ahead and build it, which is what you should be doing. But,
they get mad at the other folk because they're not doing what you should be doing.
Well, hey, listen, man, the children always go to their parents when they want something. So,
true.
children don't feel power.
Touche. Let me say touche. You can't say it right. Touche. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they typically have to go to mom and dad for like permission for shit. So, but all right, Pat, I ain't mean to trigger you. but but listen, man. Dr. John Henry Clark said it back in the '60s. Black people, you have no friends. So this whole notion of slob knobbing for Donald Trump is ludicrous. That was like man crush. That was a little bit I don't know. Watch watching that. It's a little wild, man. Let's put it like that. It was a little creepy. But it was I'll suck you. It was one of those moments. I'm sorry, Joe, I'm trying to be nice here. But when I'm not feeling my best, man, that my patience runs a little short. But you know, to he was right about the Democrats. Democrats are anti-black. They've been anti-black for the longest. Historically speaking, the Democrats were anti-black. They used to be the Dixiecrats. So, black people didn't mess with them. Black people historically in this country were the party of Lincoln, which was Republican. Even though Lincoln hated black people. So, when you look at our stance, we're not. It shouldn't be one of these things where it's either other. Like you said, Joe, black people have got to be in a place to create and generate their own policy, our own policy. And therefore, you have to actually start doing, because we do live in America, you actually have to start doing what people do when they want to build capital for the laws and policies they want for. If they want politicians, they buy them. We're the only people that still won't pay for what we need. We'll pay for what we want, but then we'll beg for what we need.